Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. However this reaches you, whenever this reaches you. I go by the name Big Papita. And today we're going to go over Article 3, which is Safety and Health. Section 1, Safety and Health. The employer shall make reasonable provisions for the safety and health of its employees during the hours of their employment. All protective devices, wearing apparel, rain gear, and other equipment necessary to properly protect employees from injury and foul weather shall be provided for a cost assumed by the employer. Whenever an employee is required to wear a specified type of uniform or article of dress, the cost of furnishing, laundering, or cleaning the same shall be assumed by the employer. When any uniform is lost or damaged by the employee, such employee shall be held responsible for the cost of a replacement uniform, except for normal wear and tear. So, Section 1, Safety and Health, says that they're supposed to provide us proper gear for the weather that we're dealing with. Right now, it is, as I'm making this video, it is I don't know how many days away from Christmas, but we're basically down to 7-8 days to Christmas, and it's raining right now. It's less than 7 days actually. It's maybe 5 or 4 days left to Christmas, and it's raining right now. So they're supposed to be providing us with rain gear right now. They're supposed to have rain jackets, rain boots, the pants. That is supposed to be provided right now. So I'll just leave that right there. So if your yard doesn't have proper rain gear right now, notify the shop steward, let the steward know, let the union representative know, so that way it can be corrected. Also, that paragraph, second paragraph, said that if you damage a uniform, let's just say something happens beyond normal wear and tear, the employee is responsible. Something I didn't know. The employee is responsible for that uniform cost, and they can deduct that, I guess, from your check if it's beyond normal wear and tear. Okay, so section number 2, safe equipment. Let's get into that. I apologize to my Spanish-speaking union members. I'm trying to work on something right now. All right, so the employer shall not require employees to take out on the streets or highways any vehicle that is not in safe operating condition or equipped with the safety appliances prescribed by law. It shall not be a violation of this agreement where employees refuse to operate such equipment until such equipment has been approved as being safe by the maintenance or mechanical department. So in other words, if you have a truck that's unsafe, they cannot force you to drive that truck. Now, if the maintenance department signs off on it and they say, hey, the truck is safe to drive, now we're in a different ballpark, because the maintenance department or the mechanical department said that it's safe to operate, safe to drive. So, different ball game. This is just what the language says. A union steward may request a meeting with the company at any time to discuss any and all safety related issues. So if you have a safety issue, say for instance, the company's trying to make you take a truck that you don't feel is safe, and maintenance said it is safe, maybe you can get the union steward to request a meeting with the company to talk about it, whatever issues that may be. You know your trucks at whatever yard that you're at. It says employees shall immediately or at the end of their shift report all defects of equipment. Such report shall be made in multiple copies, one copy to be retained by the employee The employer shall not ask or require any employee to work with or take out equipment that has been reported by any other employee as being in an unsafe operating condition until same has been approved as being safe by the maintenance or mechanical department. Which means today I take a truck and I say, man, this truck is no good, it's dangerous. I felt that when I dropped the axle, the truck started shaking, and the truck could possibly roll over. Let's just say, just a make-up scenario. It's just unsafe to drive, and the company, what they cannot do is, hey, you know what? I reported something today, and then Billy takes the truck tomorrow, even though I reported something unsafe, and they try to force Billy to take that truck. Company cannot do that. So in that event, unless maintenance signs off on it, and you feel that passionate that the truck is not safe to take, you're always at liberty to discuss this with your local union steward at whatever yard you're at, and you guys can have a discussion about it. Now, section number 3 is overloads, certificates, and equipment violations. The employer shall pay for all overloads and equipment violations, except in the case of trucks equipped with weighing devices, where overloads shall be the driver's responsibility, provided the weighing devices are working properly. All right, so what that means is that, say you go on a scale, I'm at the Long Beach yard, so there's a lot of there happens to be this scale where they're weighing the trucks. Either you're going towards your route and they're weighing you, or you're coming from the dump and they're weighing you. There's these scales. What this is that if your truck doesn't have a proper device on the truck that shows you the weight of the truck, the company assumes all responsibility, meaning that they're supposed to pay for any violations, barring that you don't have a device on your truck. Barring that you don't have a device on your truck that shows you the exact weight that you're carrying. But if you do, then the company can say, hey, that's the driver's responsibility, and he's responsible for any violations or fees that have to do with the truck weight. All right, it says, if a driver reasonably estimates a container is overweight, he should report the concern to management. The employer will investigate to determine if the container is overweight, and if so, will contact the customer and make reasonable efforts to resolve the situation. So all of my commercial drivers, all of my roll-off drivers, residential drivers, if you're coming in contact with these heavy containers that you could barely move, you have the right to notify dispatch, notify your supervisor, and let them know that this is unsafe for me to service, and the customer needs to take some dirt out, take some sand, whatever, and make it serviceable. So you're supposed to report those cans when they're really heavy. Don't risk it. Don't risk injury. Don't risk anything. If something's too heavy, you have a right to report it and just leave it. Haul or call. All right, now section 4 is work boot reimbursement. The employer may require any or all employees to wear and maintain in acceptable condition a safety work boot meeting the employer's specification, in which case the employer will provide such employees with an annual boot reimbursement not to exceed $350 per year, payable to employees as reimbursement for amounts spent by employees towards the cost of purchasing approved work boots. Employer shall reimburse employees within 10 days after employee provides the receipt to the employer. So, what this says is if you buy some work boots, you got up to $350, right? And the work boots, they have to meet a certain specification. I believe it has to be at least 6 inches. They have to be slip resistant, and it has to have a steel toe or safety toe. So, it has to be, I believe, steel toe boots or safety toe. I don't have the exact company book in front of me, but I believe those are the specifications. And you have 10 days. 10 days. So please keep in mind that if you buy some boots, do not procrastinate. Take that receipt to the company within 10 days so they can reimburse you. Now, you wait after that 10 days, they can say, hey, it's the 11th day. So I'm not paying you for those boots. So keep in mind, the language says 10 days. So don't get mad if you could bring it 2 weeks later, you got the receipt. Hey, I bought these boots a month ago, and they're like, no, they're not honoring it. They're saying you have 10 days. So there's that. Section 5. If an employee is injured on a job and before leaving work that day reports same to employer, appears to require immediate medical care, and is taken by the employer to the employer's physician or clinic, he shall be paid for the hours he worked and the hours spent at the employer's physician or clinic or the local hospital emergency room, up to a maximum of 12 straight time hours of pay on the day of the injury, subject to the overtime provision to the current agreement. The employee shall return to work the day of the injury if the physician releases him to work. The up to 12 hours of pay time ceases at the time he or she is released by the physician or clinic and not return to work or upon admission to the hospital. So the company is going to pay you for all time that you spend at a clinic or hospital if you're injured. You have an injury and they have to send you to the clinic or they have to send you to the local hospital. You are going to get paid. It says up to 12 hours until you get back to the yard, right? All right, section 6. This is going to be the last one. Air conditioning and heating, very important. All new vehicles purchased by the employer on or after the effective date of this agreement shall be equipped with properly functioning air conditioning and heating systems, which shall be maintained by the employer. All existing vehicles utilized by the employer shall be equipped with properly functioning air conditioning systems and heating systems as determined by the fleet department, which shall be maintained by the employer. Employees shall report any problems with the vehicle's air conditioning or heating system utilizing the vehicle DVIR, and the company agrees to put such vehicle out of service until the problem is fixed. The company agrees to replace the heat shield between the engine and the cab when such shield needs to be replaced. So I'm pretty sure a lot of my Valley guys know this is very, very serious. Valley heat is a lot different from city heat that's like in LA. I used to work in the Valley, so I know. What this says is that any vehicle meaning the vehicles that already existed in the yard on the date of the agreement or after this agreement, they must be equipped with proper air conditioning units. If they do not work, they must put them out of service and fix them until it's properly repaired and everything's properly replaced. So keep this in mind. But if you're just like, hey, it's my truck, I'm used to my truck, I feel safe with this truck, I'm gonna drive it no matter how hot it is, and it doesn't get fixed, that's on you. But the proper thing to do would be report it on your DVIR, let the company know, let a manager know that, hey, this truck is supposed to be properly equipped with an air conditioner. So the more you know. And it even mentions the heat shield, right? Like if in the Valley, that heat shield is very important. It gets super, super hot in that cab. So look, the more you know. All right, so next video will be section 7 through section 9. Section 7 through section 9. I'm going to end it at this 15 minutes, and I'm out. Thank you guys for listening. It's Big Papita, and I'm out. Peace.